Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Absolutely Not podcast. Tits are out today. Tits are out. I wanted to do this live on camera. Let me move this. I just found a flaky crust. I had a delicious chicken salad sandwich on a croissant, and there was flaky crust stuck in between my very, very engorged breasts. So, I'm not pregnant. I'm just feeling fat these days. So anywho, how are we doing? Happy Ryder Cup week. As you're listening to this, I am in New York City. I'm recording this from the Atlanta studio, but I will be in New York City this week, thriving at the Ryder Cup. And you're going to be seeing a lot of behind the scenes footage and me probably on the television and all that. So I just kind of want to explain to you what the hell I'm doing. For those of you who are not golf aficionados, you might be like, what is the Ryder Cup? The Ryder Cup is rich in history, and it's when America plays Europe, okay? Only that. So if you're one of the top 3 players in the world and you're from South Africa, sorry, you're not included. America versus Europe. This cup happens every 2 years. It is wild. It is, it truly is the Super Bowl of golf in the sense that it's a team effort. So a bunch of players get picked from the U.S. team, same with the European team, and then it flip-flops, switches back and forth every 2 years, whether it's played in the U.S. or in Europe. So when I went to Italy 2 years ago, when we were in Rome for a week and we were out supporting our friends who were playing in the Ryder Cup, that's where it was. And now it's going to be at Bethpage out on Long Island. But let me tell you about it, okay? The logistics aren't great. Bethpage is an incredible course, and it's going to be a really monumental week. But also the UN Summit is happening at the same time. Do you know how impossible it is to get fucking anywhere in New York City when the UN is meeting, when they're summiting? I don't know if you know about the state of the world, but I don't think that summit's going to go great. I don't think people are going to be getting along, breaking bread, having a little light laugh at lunch. Everyone's going to be fighting at the summit, and I'm going to be stuck in the tunnel trying to get out to Long Island. I'm trying to get to Long Island. I'm very honored that the PGA of America and the Ryder Cup and NBC and everybody asked me to come host because this is truly going to be a really fun week. My dear friends, Justin Thomas, he's playing in the Cup, which we're very excited about, and he always crushes the Ryder Cup. Shout out to Jill. I know you're listening to this episode of the podcast, but it's really fun because I'm going to be dressed head to toe in Ralph Lauren. I mean, it was wild. When I was in LA, they sent like a stylist. I have my own stylist, but they sent like a stylist from the brand to come dress me, and I'm gonna be honest with you. You know I'm a classic American Ralph Lauren girl. Now, they're putting me in some funky stuff, okay? The shoe wear is funky. It's fresh. I don't know if I'm cool enough to pull it off. I'm more of a Purple Label kind of gal. But they're putting me in some Gen Z funky stuff. You heard it here. Gen Z funky stuff. Gen Z funky stuff, okay? So I send it to a couple of my Gen Zers. And they were very supportive, but they said, Heather, you're really gonna have to lean into the cool look. I was expecting to just be in some cute golf skirts, maybe a nice little cable knit sweater with the Polo label. Oh no, baby. I am getting fashionista accessorized, which is very fun. And I've never been just like dress from a brand head to toe. So I'm going to snap on that polo thong and hit the course. But what I'm doing out there is, they have all these big events because we're hosting people from all over the world coming to the Ryder Cup. And I'm going to tell you right now, before I even get into what my job is for this whole rigmarole, you need to hear this from me first, okay? I want you, if you are a single gal, I want you to dial in. If you live in the tri-state area and you can get tickets and get on the LIRR, and get your ass out to Bethpage, that is where you're going to meet some men's. And if you don't want the American men's, there's going to be plenty of rich European zaddies out there rooting for Rory McIlroy, so you better get your twats out there. I have said this. If you can't meet a good man in a Sky Club on a Friday, meet him out at a golf course. Meet him out at a golf course, especially one where it's going to be high stakes. And Ryder Cup is different than like going to the Masters or going to some of these other tournaments because those are more buttoned up. The Ryder Cup gets wild. Dude, by noon, you got a bunch of bros from Germany dressed in the yellow and blue that the Team Europe wears, and they are chugging beers, wolfing down hot dogs. Everyone gets rowdy. It's a real fun event because there's so much crowd interaction. It's not stuffy. It's high stakes, but everybody is letting their hair down, eating brats, getting real, bruh. But if you are a single gal, get your ass out there. Put on a tight knit dress, a little cable knit sweater, honey. Put on a nice but sexy walking shoe and get yo pussies out there. There are going to be so many good looking men. Christina will be out there, AKA Tina. We're working on a rebrand for her. She doesn't, we've all said that Tina has been Tina forever, but we think we're doing a rebrand to Christina. Are you going back to Christina? Especially in New York. Christina's going back to Christina. What do the girls have to wear color-wise for the US? Oh, okay, great. Tina's at the desk. She's asking a great question. She said, what do you have to wear for the Ryder Cup? Red, white, and blue. And no matter what the state our country is in right now, we are patriotic as hell because we're rooting for the men to take it home, okay? Doesn't matter. I don't care what's going on. I'm always going to say, fuck you, Europe, but please give me citizenship in Portugal if I need it soon. But just cute, red, white, and blue. You know what I mean? Patriotic. Grab that sweater, that light knit sweater, that T-shirt from the 4th of July, and throw that bad boy on. But Christina's doing a little bit of a rebrand. She's going from Tina back to Christina. And I said, if you see her out at the tournament, don't be yelling, Tina, Tina. No, we're going sophisticated. She's trying to find herself a European man's out at the links. But it's a whole week of festivities, so I'm going to be in the city for most of the week. I'm hosting, they have this big night before party with all these professional athletes and all the advertisers, so we're having this huge, big party that I'm going to MC. And then we go out to Bethpage on Long Island, and we get the festivities and the tournament started. So I'm going to be on what they call the first tee every morning. Y'all, my call time's like 4 a.m. in hair and makeup, and then my ass is out there. Okay, nips hard at 6 a.m. They're blasting a DJ. I'm going to be with a DJ every morning on the first tee. What is the first tee? For those of y'all who are not proficient in golf terms, the first tee is the first tee box. And they build this giant grandstand around the first tee, particularly for the Ryder Cup, because that is where everybody launches off. Now, because it's a team event, you're playing best ball. So 2 players from America go out against 2 players from Europe. And there's how many groups? I don't even know how many groups there are. I should know this. I will know this by next week. But maybe there's like 5 groups that go out during the day. So the first tee, it gets really rowdy, and then it gets very serious, and it's rowdy again. So I am working the crowd interaction. I'm keeping the DJ beats going. I am not actually DJing myself. All right, we are leaving that up to a professional. A girl can't do everything in a Ralph Lauren cable knit sweater. She can, but I forgot to buy my DJ equipment and learned that 2 years ago. Remember when I said that was going to be my New Year's resolution? That and making bread, and then I didn't do either because I crashed out? Yeah, let's not forget that. Maybe that'll be my Christmas gift this year. My Christmas gift to myself is going to be a DJ set and a trip to Tokyo. So got to work on all of that. But anywho, it's going to be very fun. So you're out there at 5 a.m. Dude, when the gates open, the crazy fans are flooding in. That's the kind of high energy you're going to be getting at the Ryder Cup all weekend. Now, obviously, because I have dear friends that are playing, I'm obviously rooting for the U.S. Well, always. You know, I bleed red, white, and blue. But it is going to be, it's going to be a tough challenge. So you get out there, show them your tits, put on a cute little skirt, and get out there and meet a man's. Because there are going to be lots of single dudes with money out there wheeling and dealing. And don't say I didn't warn you. Do not, if you show up and you don't have a full lash on, that's on you, boo. That's on you. Of course, come as you are, but pull your shit together. Brush your hair. Brush your hair. So part of my morning is truly teeing up the first tee, getting the crowd excited, doing crowd interaction, interviewing celebrities. It's going to be a ton of fun. And then in the afternoon, after everybody has truly teed off, I will then be doing a lot of crowd interaction, like, you know, myself with a little mic, man on the street, going around interviewing all the other drunk celebs. And it's wild. Like, the Ryder Cup is actually a ton of fun because it's a group event. You're rooting for an entire team. Every point counts. And that's the thing. Each day, they work towards getting a certain amount of points for each hole that they win. And it's wild. It's a wild time. It will be chaotic because of the UN summit. So I would say take public transportation out there. Don't try and drive. Just take the LIRR, get on a shuttle, and get your ass out there for a good time. But your girl is literally going to be working to the bone all weekend. And I'm going to be in Milwaukee and Minnesota the weekend before. So then I fly home, throw all my Ralph Lauren shit in a bag, and I'm heading up north. But I'm pumped. This is really fun. And I just want to say to my husband, Jeff Daniels, I am the best wife on the planet. And I know you know that because you're a wonderful partner back. But the way I have been able to elevate your life to really have a VIP experience to all the things that you enjoy, never forget. I just wanted to say that here, so we had it documented on the podcast and on video, so it will live in infamy on YouTube. So if, God forbid, you even so much as bitch about me not putting my dishes in the sink, I will just replay this clip. Okay, thanks so much. Big shows that we have coming up. We have Jacksonville and we have Tampa. Get your tickets. All right, get your tickets at heatherontour.com. Florida, specifically Tampa and Jacksonville, are always my wildest, most fun shows. I adore coming to perform for y'all. There's still some tickets left, which I'm very surprised by. Get your tickets. I'm coming very soon. Also, Midland, Texas. We have to talk about this. See, this is the problem when I go into new markets. I open the DMs. I am the people's princess. I talk to you. I hear you. I have so many friends that live in Midland. And they all said, Heather, you got to come to Midland. You got to come to Midland. Now, one of my favorite shows is Taylor Sheridan's Landman. All right. I know that I would thrive in Midland. It's got nothing but country clubs, fast food restaurants, phenomenal Mexican joints. Everybody is drinking and driving, and it's got oil and gas money. So there's diamonds, chips and guac, and a country club aesthetic. What doesn't scream Heather McMahan? You know what I mean? What does not scream Heather McMahan than commodities of natural gas and energy or oil? I'm sorry, they don't like natural gas. They only like oil, right? Isn't that natural gas? No, but they don't like fracking? Well, I'm just going to start saying words. Are we fracking? I don't know. No, that's bad. They don't like wind turbines. That's it. You know what they don't like in Midland? They don't like the wind turbines. Turbines. I can't even say it. So a little bone to pick with Midland, though. Y'all begged me, come to Midland. And then 14 people buy tickets. I love y'all. I know there's a lot going on. I know the kids probably have soccer. But first of all, I can barely get from San Antonio to Midland. You'd think it'd be a straight shot. One of you oil bitches needs to send your PJ. And if you don't know what PJ stands for, it means private jet. Because Delta canceled the direct flight from San Antonio to Midland. I got to go by way of East Jesus to get to Midland to basically do a private meet and greet for 3 women at the Midland Country Club. And I was supposed to go to a wedding with Taylor Sheridan that weekend. And I said, no, I've already committed to coming to Midland. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to give those ladies the best show ever. And I got gals texting me, there's a gala at the country club that night. I said, skip it. Come to the show, and then we'll get drunk at the bar afterwards. Y'all drugged me out into the middle of nowhere, Dustville, and Tina's been to this theater 6 times. She said, the minute you walk out the back door, you're getting bit by a rattlesnake. I mean, what are y'all doing to me? You're hoping that I get bit, and then I'm stuck in the ICU in Midland somewhere, and then you can really just suck me dry. No, I've been so excited to come do this show, and we have so many friends from college that are in Midland, but now we're like, how do we get there unless we get a jet? Which I'm not making enough money at the show in Midland to afford the jet, so then I'm in the red, and I'm missing a wedding. So y'all better show up and be grateful. Send the alarm, ring the bell, get the smokestack going, and let those hoes know that I'm coming to Midland. It's like Dusseldorf. Doodledorf? Where am I going in Iowa? Bettendorf. I don't know why I keep calling it Dusseldorf. Dusseldorf's selling better than Midland, and that's a shocker, all right? So get your shit together. Also, like all my comedy buddies, we all text each other like once a week, and it's like, hey, are your sales down in this like random city that you thought you were going to thrive in? It's like, yes. And I'm just being transparent. And then you get to the point where you're like, I'm doing so much and everything's so exciting, but then you go to Midland and you perform for 3 drunk women who who haven't left, well, they have left the house, who drove there themselves to the theater, just hammered in their husband's giant oil truck. And you're like, all right, let's have a great time. Let's have a great time. But again, my big show's coming up. I have Tampa, Jacksonville, Midland. I'm pretty sure San Antonio sold out. Or almost. It's close to it. So San Antonio, maybe a couple tickets left. And you know I love coming to San Antonio. I love the Riverwalk. I love all the nice hotels. You know where I'll be. And we always have a great time. So very excited to be back. Traipsing around the South. You know what I mean? Traipsing around the South. And a lot of people in Texas say that Texas is not the South, that they're their own entity. Shut up. Shut up. You're Southern. I don't want to hear it. Oh, you've got extra strip malls in Texas and that doesn't make you Southern? My God, you're Southern. You're boot scooting and boogieing. And you love kolaches. It's all the same shit. You're Southern. Stop saying you're Texan. You're a Texan, but you're also Southern. God, I got to get to New York. Anywho, but yeah, so the Ryder Cup's going to be a ton of fun. We got a lot of stuff going on. Tina and I have been wheeling a deal. We've been rolling. We've been businesswomaning. Is that a word? Womaning. We've been business boss babes this week. So much going on. But it's all good stuff. Very exciting. Hope you guys enjoyed the Emmys. And I hope you enjoyed last week's episode where I kind of gave you the breakdown of how sweaty we all were. But that was a lot of fun. And if there's ever any particular questions that you ever want to know about what really happens, always just DM me, baby, and I'll tell you that real scoop. I'll tell you the real deal. What else is happening? I may run out of gas on the way home today, so I got to make sure I remember to stop for gas. And I started reading my Bible for ADHD, and I do think I may have to just switch to a regular schmegular Bible because the way that this book has everything laid out, I told y'all last week I was a little, I was sleepy on a melatonin gummy and I was on TikTok shop and someone guilted me. They said, if you swipe past this video, your entire family is going to die in a fire. So I said, okay, well, obviously I'm purchasing what you're selling. But my ADHD Bible that I really wanted to sit down with and have a moment, a word with the Lord, it's actually kind of hard to read. And I do think I have ADHD. I was highly medicated at one point, but I don't know, maybe I've progressed, maybe I've gotten dumber. And I'm not saying people with ADHD are dumber. I would actually say we are enlightened, because we think fast, move faster. But I don't know if just I have a new ailment. I don't want to say that I do, but it's very hard for me to read this ADHD Bible. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a Bible for burnout. I'm sure I'll get suckered into something else that is marketed by the Lord. So that's where I'm at. Can't wait for y'all to see the Ralph Lauren fits. Please be kind to me if you are a fashion blogger, because remember, I don't exactly have a sample size body. Here we go. But, fall is here. It's coming. I sat on my porch this morning. I had a nice cup of coffee. I could feel it was a little crispy, but then it was like 85 by noon. And it's just, we're getting there. We're thriving. I'm wearing a pair of cowgirl boots right now. My legs are sweating. But tonight at 8 o'clock, I'll be right where I need to be. And that feels good. My tits are out. I'm wearing a very cute dress from Abercrombie. Shout out to the Abercrombs. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have a fun week in New York. I'm excited to be back on the road. Cannot wait to see you guys. And I'm just having a ton of fun. Like, we've been having a blast on the road. The crew's great. Everyone's chilling, getting along, giggling. We just constantly make fun of Andrew Collin, which is just honestly the easiest thing in the world to do. And he's such a great sport. So he is kind of our, one might say, he's our Joey. If this is a friends group, he is our Joey. He's our Joey. And I probably am Monica because, she was an obese child on the show. But either way, he's our Joey, and we're having a blast. Ray is Phoebe. Who are you, Tina? Tina's Ross. Christina. I'm sorry, not Tina. Christina is Ross. And that's where I was never a big Friends person. I was always Seinfeld. So Christina's Elaine. We already know that. And I'm probably, I guess I would technically be Jerry, but I really feel more like a George, or a Kramer. Actually, Kramer would purchase off TikTok shop a Bible for people with ADHD. So that's where we're at. All right. As always, you can call into the hotline 800-213-7503. And I'm going to get into these voicemails. So follow along as we do voicemails.
Good morning. This is Adrian from Alabama, and I'm calling with an absolutely not, okay? I accidentally went viral on TikTok with my baby for doing the little "Are you ready for it" trend where you lip sync and you scare them, okay? I wasn't lip syncing, I was singing, and I jump scared my baby, but he laughed. It was fine. He had a great time. My baby's not afraid of me. It was funny, ha-ha, shits and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. To some bitch named Katie, commenting on my video, and then proceeding to make 3 videos about me, which I guess she thought would get some traffic, but little did she know that I'm viral for reading Junie B. Jones. So the Junie B. Jonesers came for her ass.
Period.
And then she deleted her videos about me. And that, honestly, is what you did, Katie. That is why I do not make nasty comments on the internet, because the internet will turn on you in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have to say anything. The Junie B. Jonesers jonesed her ass, okay? So absolutely not to mom shaming. She was being so mean. And then you know what? She turned around and made the same video. She made the same video! Either way, absolutely not to mom shaming. Absolutely not to shaming people on the internet. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Just absolutely not to people's bullshit online, because the internet will turn around and they will gut you like a fish.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have to say anything to her.
So it was Adrian, right? I think it was Adrian. I'm going to have to talk like this in response to you, because obviously we're on a Southern kick today. Adrian, absolutely not. I'm on your side 110%. Now, I got to look up real quick, because you said you do some influencer stuff for Junie B. Jones. I'm guessing that's an author. I'm sorry if I'm not. Who's Junie B. Jones? Oh, Junie B. Jones. Oh, she's that cute. Oh, my God. Okay. Yep. So Junie B. Jones is a character, and the number one book that I just pulled up is called "And the Stupid Smelly Bus." So these are cute books, I'm guessing, for children, young girls, about this cute little character. She's got bottle Coke glasses on. She's got a gap in her teeth. She's adorable, little redhead. One of her books is called "And Her Big Fat Mouth." Well, that's going to be the name of my memoir. This is great. Okay, so let me get this straight. So you did a funny video, lightly doing a simple little scare and tickle to your child, your own child that you have a loving, committed relationship with, because your baby loves you. And some bitch on the internet got upset. Okay, hold on. I got to jump out of the accent real quick. Here's the thing about the internet that you need to know. You could post a video with your own opinion. Hey guys, I had a great chicken salad sandwich today. This is what I loved about it. And you'll name the ingredients of the chicken salad. It had grapes, pecans, mayo on a toasted croissant. And you're just thriving. You're having the best day ever. You love that sandwich. And some cunt on the internet will say, well, I can't have that because I'm allergic to nuts. I can't have that. I have a dairy allergy. I can't have that. Chicken sometimes makes my tummy hurt. I have diverticulitis. You cannot please everyone. I have learned that so much in comedy. It's wild when I see my videos that, we will post the clips of stand-up, and we'll purposely post a teaser, right? So it's all about marketing. It hooks you to then watch the next video, to then click on the link to watch the special. Dude, the amount of grown men, and I believe I spoke on this the other week, the amount of grown men that get upset at the punchline of golf, it's unbelievable. I guarantee I will be at the Ryder Cup this week, and I will have some guy come up to me like, saw your fucking 30-second clip about golf. Hey, what? How do you deserve to be here? How do you deserve to be here? Okay, bitch. I saw your little bit about it takes your husband 9 hours to play golf. The amount of messages I got from that grown men DM'd me and said, I bet your husband does want to spend 9 hours playing golf because you seem like such a nasty bitch to be with. I'm like, it's a joke. It's a joke. These are jokes and we're having fun. Like, you cannot please everyone. You could post a photo. You could post a video about your birthing journey. You could say, it was tough. I had a C-section, but my beautiful baby came out, and now we make TikToks where I scare her. And somebody would say, well, you should be blessed that you had a C-section because I had a stage 7 perennial tear, and now I have a colostomy bag. You are not going to please everyone. Also, I genuinely feel this way, and I don't mean to be on a rant right now, but the people who, and I'm not talking about bots, the people who take the time to actually make a negative comment on something that brings you joy and that is not harmful, I always go back to it's a daddy issue. Okay, it's like people who leave Yelp reviews, a nasty Yelp review on a restaurant. It starts off, our reservation was at 8 o'clock. We showed up at 7:59, immediately demanding to be seated. When the hostess said, hey, they're paying the check, it may be another 10 minutes. Can we escort you to the bar, have a drink on us? We said, absolutely not. This is outrageous. We had a delicious appetizer, but I asked for more pita chips, and they said, great, that'll be an upcharge of $1. And then I decided to burn the whole restaurant down because I hate my stepdad, Mark. Like, that's how every Yelp review essentially boils down to when you're reading a negative review for a restaurant. Unless rats are nipping at my ankle, I'm probably going back. And that's someone who's very critical because I used to work at restaurants. But Adrienne, I'm sorry that now this woman who is upset that you did a quick jump scare with your adorable baby, meanwhile you're reading children's books, providing the youth of America with literacy. This woman made 3 videos about how horrible you are. And then I love that the Junie B bitches came and let a hoe know. I'll never forget, after I played Radio City, the most insane night of my life, somebody, shout out to Violet, she sent me a video. She's like, this girl is making videos about you. And there was this girl who apparently that's all she does is make nasty videos about people. She's like, Heather McMahan is the fucking worst. She just played Radio City. 3 people in the audience. I was like, ugh, talk about 6,000. But yeah, sure. This woman just went on a rant about me. She hated my face. She hated my eyes. She hated me. She hated success. She hated that I tried. She hated that I gave a shit. She hated that I actually put some effort into my life. I don't know. And I sent the woman a message. I was like, truly, you're a miserable cunt. Go fuck yourself. And I've never felt better. So maybe we need to start responding to these people. You know, my publicist will say, Sam will say, Heather, it's not worth it. But I think some of these people on the internet actually just need to be taken down a notch. I mean, anybody who has time to make a video about you and your baby could have actually just called you and asked to go to lunch with you and your baby. Like, it's weird. It's bizarre. We're all living these parasocial relationships. It's bizarre. But I love that the Judy B young adult, not even young adult, children's book community came out and they let a bitch know. You know what videos I love? When like a seemingly like scary community comes together for good. I'm obsessed with these videos and I comment positively on all of them. When there's a bully at a school and these motorbike gangs, so like, you know, these tough like Hell's Angels, these Harley Davidson kind of Rough Rider guys will show up, and the entire biker gang, and I don't know, are you supposed to call them a biker gang? They're a gang of fun guys who like to bike, show up, and then they'll like pull the kid out of class, and I'm on biker gang anti-bullying TikTok, and I'm so here for it. Like, I want to do a ride along, and they'll go up to the school, and it's like when all the kids are outside at recess, and they'll be like, "Hey, is Jason here?" And there's like a little kid, Jason, you know, his arm's in a sling because somebody threw him down, and he on the playground, he's got like a broken arm and a purple cast, and he's like, "It's me," and then they're like, "Jason, we heard." They call themselves like the Big Brother biker gangs, and they're like, "We heard that guys on the playground," guys, these are like 5-year-olds, "we're being dicks. You want to sit on our Harley and we'll do a couple laps around the parking lot and show everybody what a baddie you are?" And these kids are like, "Yeah." And they put a helmet on the kid and then they drive around. And then all the other kids who are assholes are standing on the playground just being like, "Oh my God, Jason's the coolest." I'm obsessed with it. I love the community. I love everything they're doing. I want to be a biker babe. I don't know if I'm going to get a Harley just so I can do ride-alongs so that all, you know, maybe we could start a biker gang for women because maybe it's a little intimidating if the guys show up, but maybe there's a biker gang that I could join that's a community that's just women who go to elementaries and find the little me. Now, I was never bullied because I had a loud mouth, but I would love to imagine little me, chubby, sweaty, in a My Little Pony t-shirt. No, not in a My Little Pony t-shirt. In a women's limited, not limited to, women's limited Oxford shirt with an eczema flare-up on the playground. And then just a bunch of bad bitches on bikes roll up and they're like, Heather, were you bullied? I was like, hell no, I was fucking bitches up. And they were like, okay, you still have a lateral lisp. Get on the bike. And I'm like, okay, let's ride. And then we would ride around the parking lot. Like if I had that growing up, it would have been so good. It would have been so good. And Cammie, my dear friend Cammie Miller, who owns Show Me Your Moo Moo, she's been on this podcast plenty of times. That's how our relationship started because there was a lost in translation bullying situation. I was bullied once at school, and somebody said that Cammie called me the green plastic booger because I wore a green vinyl outfit from 5/7/9 to Grandparents' Day, and it wasn't Cammie. And we both got sent to the counselor's office and the principal's office, and I was crying because I was embarrassed, and Cammie was crying because she was wrongfully accused. And after that, we became dear friends. I was like, sorry about that. This outfit is not as cool as I thought it was going to be. And Cammie was like, I kind of like it. I'm going to start a fashion line. And then when you're a star, I'm going to put all my clothes on you. And you're going to go on tour all across the world and wear it. And that's it. See, sometimes beautiful friendships can start from a negative experience. But that does not, Adrian, let me get back to your story. That does not mean that whomever was bullying you about you scaring your baby in just a little bit of early Halloween delight, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't burn this woman at the stakes, okay? So you can't please them all. You cannot please them all. But what I love is when a positive community rallies around a silly situation and brings more light and levity and really shows a miserable bitch why she shouldn't be miserable. You know, did that make sense? I hope it did. But nothing worse than the internet. Oh my God, nothing worse. And the people that will, I will speak up for myself or I'll say that I don't agree with something politically, metaphorically, spiritually, whatever. And the amount of folks that think that you're really, the DMs that you read some days and you're like, hey, I have said nothing hateful to you. I've simply stated my opinion, and your hatefulness is back 100-fold. And then I get crazy what people put in writing. Say it, forget it. Write it, regret it. Dorinda Medley, Real Housewives, season 6000. It's truly wild when folks lose their fucking mind. But either way, one, I'm going to find your Judy B book videos, and we will support you. So just so you know, you have a Junie B. Jones. I'm going to look for any moms out on the internet that are doing Junie B. Jones material because you know what? We all need a little Junie juice in our life. Didn't like how I said that. Okay. Let's get to the next voicemail. Also cannot wait to join a biker gang.
Hi, Heather. It's Abby. I have an absolutely not for you. So I rent my car out on Turo, and usually when I get the car back, it's like a little dirty, there's miles on it, et cetera, et cetera. Recently, I had some young Italians rent my car out, and they returned it completely destroyed, sticky stuff all over the car, just like mangled. And they drove 7,000 miles over the course of like a week and a half. Where were they going? Not only that, the engine lights were on, the airbag lights were on, so I took it to a mechanic. The mechanic got back to me, said that they had an accident. They had run something over, so like parts of the radiator are missing, the airbags don't work anymore. Anyways, they tell Turo that they just braked really hard and then all the lights turned on. Not believing it. Anyways, I'm going back and forth with like the legal department at Turo. It is not fun. I just want to fix my car, but absolutely not.
So I want to preface this. That is Abby. I know Abby, and I know this story, but I wanted her to call in to give the gist of it because this has been so insane. So Abby on the social media team, Abby, we love and adore her. Shout out to Abby. So Abby, we're backstage at the Denver show. And she comes in and she seems a little frazzled. And I said, Abby, what's going on? She's like, dude, you're never going to believe what happened to me this afternoon. So we start putting the clues together at the Denver show. She shows us the tour app. She's like, I rent my car out sometimes. These guys rented it. And she said it was something around 16 days. They drove 7,000 miles. So I'm immediately like, where did these people go in the continental United States? I don't understand. So I hear 7,000 miles. She shows me a photo of the speedometer, and I'm like, okay, this is not making sense. So we're sitting, she's just gotten her car back. It's filthy. It's sticky. Things are jingle-jangling around. She's like, it's like a couple young Italian dudes. So I imagine 4 slender Sicilian men with fedoras and a pair of nice jean capri and a Puma flat and a crossbody man purse just going, I don't know, to a rave, to Pound Town. I don't know what they were doing in Sweet Abby's car. So right now it says if you were to go from San Diego to New York City in miles, it's 2,700. It would take you 41 hours to drive 2,700 miles. Where did these Italians go? If they picked up the car in Denver, if they went Denver all the way up to the top of the Yukon Territory, then across over to Maine, down to Fort Lauderdale, and back across, you still wouldn't be hitting 7,000 miles. And also in 15 days. Now, I've seen a lot on the internet where Europeans who have never been to America before are often quite confused. They don't understand because obviously Europe is small and all the countries are very close and small together. They don't understand why they can't see all of America in like a week. And they'll say like, oh, I've never been to America before. I think I want to go to I've got 6 days off from work. I want to go to Miami, New York, Vegas, Chicago, and LA. You're like, you can't do that in 7 days. What are you talking about? I mean, I do it every week on tour, but I don't see anything. I see the inside of a Hyatt, and that's about it. So we're over here calculating. We are calculating where could these guys have gone? One, what were they doing? Now, so Abby talks to me earlier today, and she's like, dude, it's gotten worse, as she said in her voicemail. I said, you got to call in with this because we got to dissect this, and I want to hear what the Absolutely Not listeners think about this. That just a ton of damage. So she went to go get it detailed because it had sticky substances. Don't ask about that. That one we don't need to know about. I don't want to know. You don't need to know. Let's move on from the stickiness. We can wipe that down, Clorox, bleach it. But now the bottom of her car, there's like her engine was rattled. They went over something at such a high speed that the engine, something else, like the bumper, all of it is messed up. I don't want to go there. I don't want to pinpoint my own people, but I think these Italians were up to no good. I don't know if they rented her lovely car and were drag racing across America. I mean, the only way you could drive 7,000 miles in like 15 days is if you are going 120 miles an hour. And then, I mean, could you imagine trying to sightsee in 2 weeks, literally traipsing into the entirety of North America? I mean, you're whizzing past the Grand Canyon. You're barely throwing a grape at the Statue of Liberty. You were going down South Beach just hitting pedestrians going that fast. I mean, honestly, we should probably ask these guys to drive us from San Antonio to Midland. We probably get there in 2 hours. We still have no idea where they went. And so Abby sends them a message on tour and is like, hey, where did y'all go to put 7,000 miles on my car? And he just said a very long street is what his response was at one point. I mean, just for a point of reference, when I leased my car, I could put 10,000 miles on it over 2 years. That's 5,000 miles, I think, a year. 5,000 miles a year. They want to crush the globe and back in 2 weeks. I do think you got bamboozled. And Abby, if we have anybody who works for Turo, I need you to chime in. Because Turo is not, they're saying that they can't guarantee that what happened to her car actually happened and all this shit. And it's like, look at the mileage that these people put on. Honey, I'm worried that there's a trail of dead bodies somewhere. I'm worried that they were hitting pedestrians driving and like it just never made the national news. I said, you got to wait. I said, you're going to get about 15 speeding tickets and unpaid tolls from these Italians in your mailbox. Give it 3 weeks. And you're going to be just getting hit, bam, 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 with charges. And I pray to God that these toll booths and these other cameras that Big Brother got, just 4 Italian dudes hanging outside of her car, smoking cigs, chugging espressos, all wearing matching fedoras with like Mickey Mouse ears on top of it because you know their asses went to Disney. You know they're like, oh, we must say here to Orlando. We have 15 minutes. We must go see a Mickey. I mean, insane. Insane. Now, mind you, yeah, your car is really damaged, Abby, and we will work to help with the repairs. But, honestly, my car is like that every weekend when I drive it. So better the Italians than me. All right, I'll sideswipe your garage like that. But that's insane. If y'all have any ideas of where they may have gone, if you have any theories, I'd really like to get into it. Speaking of theories, just real quick, probably should have touched on this with the last voicemail. I finally watched Unknown Number with Christina, not Tina, the other night. And if you haven't seen it, I'm going to let you pause it. Okay, if you have seen it, though, also, this is not spoiling it, but spoiling it, it's the mom. Everybody knows that. But if you have seen it, my biggest takeaway from that was, why didn't they just get the kids' new numbers? The whole show is about these two young kids in high school getting harassed by this crazy person. Turns out it's one of the girls' moms. But I am still so shocked that if the kids were getting bullied in a group chat, why they just didn't get them new numbers is beyond me. The show's called Unknown Number. It should be called, you should have gotten a new fucking number for your kid and the harassment would have stopped. Now, it probably wouldn't have because obviously we know who did it in the end, but this was fucking bizarre. A quick fix in the meantime. Unreal. Okay, let's get to the next voicemail. I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents about that.
Hi, Heather. This is another Heather calling. I have an absolutely not, and it's to myself. I have a big presentation today that I have to give in front of 600 people, and I was worried about sleeping last night, so I took extra magnesium, and I totally forgot that too much magnesium is a laxative, and now this morning, that was, looking back, not the best idea.
Yeah.
So I did not think this through. I'm sick on my couch. I have a couple of hours before it starts, and I'm hoping I get through this. So maybe absolutely not to magnesium being a laxative, and there should be a warning on the label, like, do not take too much to be able to sleep because you're going to shit your pants. So,
all right, Heather, I feel this deep in my body because I take magnesium every night to unwind, to help with muscle cramping, and we're all technically deficient in vitamin D and magnesium. So I used to buy that powder, the Calm powder. It's called Natural Calm. You could get it at Whole Foods, Sprouts, really anywhere. And I loved it until I realized the same thing. And I didn't know if I just thought my body was being sensitive to it because, you give me half a Benadryl and the horse goes down. When I tell you, the first time I did a full week's worth of Natural Calm, I shit myself. And I don't mean to be crass right now. I got out of the car. I had just gotten my nails done. I was walking into my home, and it was like, it's happening. I didn't have a tummy grumble. I didn't have a cramp. I didn't have better run to the bathroom. It was, I stood up, and it was dropping. I don't know. Sorry, that's so vulgar, but you know what I mean? And I had to learn my lesson the hard way. And I walked into the house, and I screamed at my mom. I ran to the laundry room, and I go, towel! And I picked up a dirty towel in the laundry. And then she took me outside and basically hosed me off. It was one of the most embarrassing and humbling moments of my life, but also a very big learning lesson. You don't know until you know, especially when you're mixing around pharmaceuticals, baby. But magnesium, it's a double-edged sword. You need it to calm down. But you know what isn't calming? The thought of maybe shitting yourself in front of 600 people. This is my advice. You got to plug it back up. And I usually like to have things like this run its course. You need to get a Pepto, an Imodium. You need something. Eat a quick block of cheese, piece of bread. We got to plug it from both sides. I want you wearing a dark pant, okay? Not a skirt, not a dress. We cannot have any accidents. Pant. I want you to pack a nice cable knit sweater, some sort of button down that's also in a navy or a black. Okay, you can wear the blazer, but I need you to bring an extra sweater in your bag because if God forbid, mommy has an oopsie during the presentation, you need to also be able to calmly, casually tie that sweater around your waist. It can't be a bulky blazer and just kind of be like, oh yeah, I just, that's a part of the look. You need to be prepared. Pack an extra pair of panties, pack some carbs. What do they say when you get the stomach bug? Brat, bread, rice, applesauce, toast. Your brat. Honey, talk about a brat summer. You're about to have a brat business day. And that's the thing. We're all trying to experiment with what's going to make us feel better. I just re-upped my cortisol manager because I haven't been sleeping and I'm taking my magnesium and my melatonin. And then I saw something, they're like, melatonin might give you brain cancer, but that wasn't right. And then they're like, no, it was actually linked to antihistamines, but that wasn't right. And then they're like, then the antihistamines are actually good to keep ovarian cancer down. And you're like, what is linked to what? All I know is I'm shitting myself and so are you. You know, it's exhausting. It's already exhausting being a woman, but also being a woman and not trying to do to yourself at a big presentation when you already know you had to fight the patriarchy to climb the corporate ladder to get there, and here you are in Shitsville, USA. I'm frustrated for you. And I hate to make it about genders, but some days it does feel like the marketing is out to get us. They market us with have a great night's sleep. Do you have muscle cramps? Are you perimenopausal? You know, do you have one leg cramp from putting on a weighted vest and kind of leaning to your right side? Well, there you go, magnesium. And I do think magnesium is a cure-all for a lot of things, but people are not also talking about the horrific, egregious side effects, which are corporate shits. You know, folks get mad at me. They're like, I don't understand why you don't come into our restaurant before your show. And I'm like, listen, if you're serving me fried raviolis in St. Louis, it's too heavy for my tummy before a show. After the show, I can afford to sit in a hotel room, drink a glass of wine, work on my set after the show, watch a little TV, and let bygones be bygones or whatever happens, happens. But I cannot eat your rich, delicious, very kind gifts of food before my show, or I will not be well on stage. It's all about timing. It's all about planning. And here you are just trying to be a corporate girly. Probably thrilled to have this beautiful moment of engagement at a conference. Really showing what you know. Proving to the world, look, Dad, I did it. And you may shit yourself in front of your colleagues, clients, and tech support. But I want you to know that here at the Absolutely Not podcast, we understand what you're going through and we will be supportive in the best way we can. So remember brat. Okay? It's about to be a brat Q3. Bread, rice, applesauce, toast. And pull back on the magnesium. I would actually just say get some sort of Ambien. The only downfall to taking Ambien is you could eat in the middle of the night and or call your ex and confess your love for them. Worst case scenario. Better than shitting yourself in public. I feel like we really conquered a lot today. We have gone through the most together as a unit. I cannot wait to see you all in New York and out at the Ryder Cup, and I can't wait to see you on the road. And if anybody has a private jet to get me from San Antonio to Midland, while it seems like it'd be very close in the same state, it is very hard to get to. And you better get your girls out to the shows and your gays and your guys and your husband because I'm having so much fun on the road. I love you guys dearly. I can't wait to see you out on the road. I'll see you next time on the next episode of the Absolutely Not podcast. Ciao, Bella. Arrivederci.